Hello, I'm going to switch to English, and I'm going to start with a quick story from one of my favorite companies about their strategy, because Kafir, when he was talking, really reminded me of it. Nintendo, everybody knows Nintendo. When they build their product strategy and when they do their marketing strategy, they have this thing called the blue ocean strategy. And the blue ocean strategy is to let everybody else fight in the ocean over the same thing, i.e. Microsoft and Sony, over who has the fastest machine, the best machine in the video game market, and Nintendo goes and builds something else. So they go for the blue ocean, and Nintendo stays out of the red water. They stay out of the pink water as it is, where all the blood is and everybody's fighting. Nintendo goes and does their own thing. And the issue, I think, with content marketing today is that we're all in the red ocean. Everybody is doing content marketing. Everybody is out there doing spam in some sense, sending out as much content as possible. And I'm going to show you some of the organizational and technological things that we do at SimilarWeb and what I've learned in the past 10 years about how to get above or find customers in the red ocean. This is my background. I've been doing B2B marketing for over 10 years now. My first boss is here, actually, Ophir Cohen, if he's in the audience, or I saw him upstairs. And I've been doing it here in Israel, working with global markets. Quick 10 seconds about SimilarWeb. We have the data for everything. We let you look at your competitive market across every app, every website, and that's it. I'm not going to get too salesy. You can check out what we do at similarweb.com. I'm going to show you some of the content that we create in a case study in a bit. This is how you should really start thinking about digital strategy, because digital strategy is relevant to every sort of level within your organization, not only content marketing. So you can see that, you know, the more data that you have, the more you're thinking data first, and this is going to go down all the way to the bottom level here where we have content and how we use content in SimilarWeb. It's all based off of data. And this is just, you know, some of the things, my key results, my key performance indicators as a content marketer at SimilarWeb. You can see them on the screen behind me. Okay, so B2B marketing. What are we going to start with? You have to start with the measurement. Because everybody out there is putting out content, if you're not measuring your content, if you're not measuring those KPIs, then you're failing. You're not doing what you need to do. Here's the 3 obvious statements about why you need to do this. Number 1, digital is your strategy, especially in Israel where you have B2B companies and you're trying to get outside of this small market that we exist in. You want to get to Europe, you want to get to Asia, you want to get to America. Your digital strategy is your business strategy. The best way to do it, data. You need to make data-driven decisions, and you need that data in context of the market. I think those are 3 obvious statements that everybody can agree with. And it should be kind of the framework for how you start thinking about the content that you want to create. So if this is the modern marketing team, what does it mean that everybody needs to be measured? Everybody needs to have KPIs? It means it looks like this. It means that me, as the head of marketing, I am measured on a volume of expected MQLs that I can deliver each quarter to my CEO. And this is what I do. Every quarter, I have to go in front of the CEO and say, here's the amount of marketing qualified leads that we delivered. And then I go back and I break that down among the team and I say, how can we bring this from this? How can we optimize the process? But I do it through measurement. Each one of these team members, from my SEO manager to my content team, is being measured on a metric, which all relates back to the core metric for me, which is marketing qualified leads. So, how do you start to measure? There's tons and tons of tools out there. I'm not going to go into recommendations about which tools are best because you need to find the ones that are best for your company. But once you have those tools, you need to start integrating them into your work process so that what you see is when you go back to the marketing team, everybody has their own dashboard. And one of my biggest failures, I think, in my first year at SimilarWeb, it took me too long to get these dashboards up. Some of my most important content dashboards came only after my first year at the company because I didn't fight hard enough for the BI resources. So my content team knows for each piece of content not only how many downloads they had, but how many opportunities were created for sales from those opportunities. And I'll talk about that a little bit later in a case study. So organizing your team. You need to organize around the funnel. The similar web funnel looks like this. We bring in people to our website. We have hooks, we capture those leads, but I don't want to give those leads to sales. I don't want to give sales things that are just, hey, somebody downloaded a piece of content, there's no background there, there's not enough for them to go on. I need to know how qualified they are, what kind of behaviors they have within the system. So are they checking out the pricing page? Have they downloaded multiple pieces of content? Are they contacting us? Those are all key things that we're adding to our behavioral metrics, which then say, okay, this person is qualified, let's move them through the funnel and into sales. And let's then create content and upsell and retain them as well. So if we start at the top of the funnel, here's a bit of similar web data, and you can see usage here. I took the top 100 software websites for the last quarter and broke down how much traffic they get by traffic source. And we can see that organic search, beyond direct means that somebody is already familiar with the brand and they're going back to the site. Beyond direct, organic search is the biggest piece of the pie available. But SEO in today's world is not like SEO 5 years ago or SEO 10 years ago, even when I first moved to Israel and started doing SEO for a small agency called CompuCall. And we can see here I picked 3 like the biggest sites in the B2B marketing world, going after marketers, which is one of the most challenging things that you can do, and we can see how reliant they are. Their #1 source of traffic is organic search when combined. So, today's SEO is driven by content and not keywords. If the old way was putting out keywords, using link farms, using SEO agencies, the new way today is you need to measure engagement. You need to engage with your customers. Google is reading the comments on your blog. Google is looking at how much time people spend on your website. If you don't have that kind of engagement, then you're not doing it right. And all of that engagement comes through high quality, high targeted content. Here's a quick example. A good friend of ours, Rand Fishkin from Moz, did a test. And he said, hey, I'm going to start clicking on some links and see if engagement really is a factor. So he clicked 400 or 500 times on 2 links, but on one of the links, on the bottom link here, he stayed on the site for an extended period of time. And what happened? Only through engagement was he able to increase the ranking of that site, therefore proving how important content is to the SEO game. So what's the lesson? The old way of doing things was, hey, I'm going to optimize for a keyword, I'm going to make sure I include those in my sites. The new way means that you need to build this content into your site and make sure that people are engaged and they're not bouncing. And that comes through technology, such as your Google Analytics and your user experience, and this is critical to SEO. Now for the middle of the funnel. This right here is from our Google Analytics, and it's the conversion rate for people who register for a demonstration based off of channel. And one of the things I've learned is you can see that email and paid branded search, which includes a lot of retargeting, has the highest conversion rates here, and there's a reason why. Because I'm retargeting and I'm targeting people that I already know. I think one of the biggest mistakes that you can make as a B2B marketer is to say, hey, I'm sitting here in Israel, how do I find my next customer? I'm going to buy a list of 10,000 and I'm going to send out this spam and I'm going to hope that somebody bites. And it's really just like fishing in a wide, wide empty ocean when people are getting thousands and thousands and thousands of emails. So if you focus your content and you focus your efforts on the middle of the funnel at talking to the people that you already know, you can do better things like building a better website and increasing the engagement at the top of the funnel. So once I have that lead, and this is an actual flow for one of our industries in SimilarWeb, you can see that within the first 3 days, how many engagements we're building in. And if after 3 days I still don't feel that they're ready, I'm going to put them into a long-term nurture. I'm not even going to waste my salespeople's time with this. And all of this, every single piece of content here, every single, different touch point is based on content. So the better you can organize and put content into the middle of your funnel, the more likely you are to deliver those sales qualified leads at a higher rate and therefore increase the ROI of your company. Now, content prioritization needs to be based off of data. So I have two big things. On the right side of the screen, I have the size of the lead pool. And I'm constantly analyzing this. I have 2 analysts full-time working on content, and part of their job, too, is to say, what's the next biggest target that we can go after? And on the left side, we have some variable factors, such as what's the expected success rate? Maybe people in the finance industry hate our product, so I'm going to invest less time in it. Maybe we do really well in e-commerce, so I'm going to put more time into it. And one of the key factors for us as marketers is actually the 4th one down. It's repurposability. I've made this great piece of content, highly targeted to somebody I know who is interested in the platform. It means that probably there's people out there in the world that I can start fishing with this content. So what do? I take this content and I move it to the top of the funnel team and say, hey, let's push this out there. Let's push this to the press. Let's push this to the right trade journals. Let's get the content that's talking to our customers out there at the top of the funnel. And at the bottom of the funnel, let's take these great insights that we're building for the middle of the funnel and start talking about value and adding that on as a focus to get them ready for sales. So at the bottom of the funnel, I see this mistake happening all the time. You need to prove value. And proving value typically means you say, okay, how can you do this with our product? Which is great. How to prove the value of your product. Here is a white paper that we did for the online health industry, and we see here's top keywords. Oh, I can get insights into my market with SimilarWeb. But what it's not is how to do your job. And I see this mistake happening too many times. How to write the best blog post. 7 tips to do A/B testing. 7 tips to do landing page testing. And I see this over and over and over again. There's companies out there that do that. If I look at how to do marketing strategy, and marketing strategy is a very essential part of what we sell at SimilarWeb, I'm competing with 16 million results there. There's no way that I'm going to teach somebody how to do better marketing strategy. What I can teach them is how to do marketing strategy through market intelligence or through competitive intelligence. When they're at that stage of marketing strategy, they're going to find content about competitive intelligence specific to their industry. And so I'm going to wrap up with a quick case study with a reminder about like the blue ocean. Here's another kind of bitui expression. That when you start making content, I think you see the road as looking like this. But in reality, it looks like this. For every idea that you've had, there's probably 18 other people who've had that idea, have already written a blog post, been indexed about Google about it, and are ranking and getting traffic for it, and are optimizing their SEO to make sure they maintain that ranking. So when you start creating content, make sure that you're doing it in context of the market. So here's digital strategies for online health. We uploaded this white paper, this report, 7 days ago, last week. And already, we are ranked 3rd, and if you can see behind too, we're talking about McKinsey, and we're above HubSpot, probably one of the best SEO companies in the world. How did we do it? Using these factors and looking at the market. We went through our content creation process. We did the research. We said, okay, pharmaceutical is a big industry for us. Let's do it. Let's do this research. We wrote the outline. I actually axed 2 outlines, a very important thing that I want to impart upon everybody. If you're not writing outlines for your content, you're not doing it right, because by the time the outline is written and you've done the research, you've already invested a lot into this content. And if it's not good enough at the outline stage, you need to be able to say no and start over. And so then, oh, it's kind of hard to read, but we went and we looked at, okay, who is ranking well for this topic? And we went and we looked at the McKinsey website using SimilarWeb, and we saw, okay, hey, look, pharmaceuticals, in terms of top folders within the reports that McKinsey is selling, is ranked 9, 11, and 13. This is a very valuable insight. This means that I can devote extra resources. I know that if McKinsey is selling this data, there's probably a very, very big market, and it's worthwhile for me to invest more. And then, at the end, the most important thing is the feedback loop. we use Tableau, but using whatever you do, it's important to understand the entire funnel for each piece of content. So I know here that, okay, I got 1,500 downloads off of this report. Now, if the actionable leads aren't coming in, if people aren't responding, if they're putting fake emails, I have a problem. It's a problem with the targeting. If my salespeople aren't able to contact them, then maybe I have a problem with the sales team. Maybe I need to sit on them and say, hey, I delivered you 1,432 very, very high quality leads. Why have only 30% been contacted? This is a problem. Now, this is only since last week, so I can give them some time to get through it. They have lots of other leads to get to, but I know that maybe there's a problem within the organization. I'm putting all this effort into creating content. Are they putting the effort into the follow-up? And finally, I can see the actual opportunities opened. How many sales qualified leads? How many people are asking for demos and sales? So if you're not building your content and you're not building this feedback loop into the content, then you'll never know, can I do a better job? Can I improve my content? Which stage of the content can be improved and optimized? And so in conclusion, here's kind of the 4 main points. Content is the fuel that feeds the funnel. You need to make data-driven decisions. Use content to prove value and measure everything. And with that, thank you.